Alright, I know I'll probably get completely cooked in the comment section, but I have to get this off my chest. So, with GTA 6 not coming out this year, there's only really two games that have a good chance at winning Game of the Year. Expedition 33 and Hollow Knight Silksong, and there's only one obvious winner and it's not even close. I just wanted to say that comparing these two games is like comparing apples and bananas. They both have completely different genres, aesthetics, gameplay, and audiences in mind, but we kinda have to since this stupid Game of the Year competition exists in the first place. So, let me explain why Expedition 33 absolutely gets Game of the Year 2025 without a doubt, and Silksong won't. Let's start with the gameplay. The gameplay is always the most important part of any game, and these two games do a phenomenal job at both. The problem is that Expedition 33 offers gameplay that we kind of never seen before, and it serves it on a fancy platter to a large market of players who have never played a game like this before in their lives, which is basically a turn-based reactive game with QTE events. I know it doesn't sound that crazy, but a simple union of these two different gameplay mechanics really can just make it something fresh and unique, even innovative depending on who you ask. And that's kind of the problem with Silksong. The nature of it being a sequel to a masterpiece is kind of what prevents it from being better than Expedition 33 in every category. You could call it suffering from success and you'd be right. Anyways, the gameplay of Silksong is based on the gameplay loop from Hollow Knight, but with notable improvements and overall increase in the amount of things you can do with the various gadgets and additional movement abilities. It's very much the Halo 2 of Metroidvanias, building upon an already good gameplay foundation and polishing up the weaker areas of it. But that's what sets Expedition 33 apart from Silksong. It is an all-new original IP that shows off enjoyable and satisfying gameplay styles that most people have never seen in their lives. The presentation of both games are both breathtaking and stylistic. Expedition 33 has its own fantastical realistic art style, while Silksong has its colorfully detailed, cute art style with incredible lighting. Personally, I think this is probably the thing that both games excel very well in, especially Silksong with its original distinctive style done by an incredible artistic direction. But I do think Expedition 33 takes the cake on this section again in a similar way as the previous part. Expedition 33 has a very strong artistic direction. Everything from the clothes to the skybox is pretty strong and distinct. But most importantly, it's bold and it's new. I can't really think of many games that have a similar vibe or art style like Expedition 33 has. But if this game had a different art style that's similar to its various inspirations like God forbid Persona, then it wouldn't have been as original and it would have been more derivative if it had an anime art style, which far too many games have nowadays, and basically they just chose a bold choice that most of the industry wouldn't have gone for and they stuck with it. While Silksong's art direction is also one of the best in the whole gaming industry, it's also something that we've already seen in Hollow Knight. And since the release of Hollow Knight, there have been many other indie Metroidvanias that just ripped off Hollow Knight's art style, and it's just something that most people have already seen, and it's bordering on being derivative. But that's kind of unfair since it's kind of Team Cherry who created this art style. The story in Expedition 33 is very much superior just by the way it was written and its interesting concept, though there are some inconsistencies like how Alicia can somehow respawn her friends but can't respawn everyone else, which I thought was kind of stupid, but I don't know, that's just a small part and a small detail. I do feel like Expedition 33's story is much more interesting and the characters are actually like real characters, while in Silksong the characters are more like lore drops, if anything, instead of actual characters with emotions. But that is mostly because it's very much in its best interest to have characters in Silksong not be overly emotional, because that's not the point of the game. The story of Silksong is serviceable, not anything we haven't seen before like in Hollow Knight, but it is still not as good as Expedition 33's story, because the main moral of the story in Expedition 33 is basically just to go touch grass. A concept Hollow Knight fans might find foreign. Anyways, Expedition 33 deserves to win Game of the Year, even though it kind of hurts my soul to say that when Silksong came out and it was that good, but If you disagree with me, Hollow Knight fans, get off of Twitter. Get off of Twitter. Get off of Twitter. Get off of Twitter. Get off.